Welcome to Grow Law Firm Podcast. This is your host, Sasha Burson, and I have a wonderful Kelsey Johnson from AWeber here today. Kelsey, thanks so much for joining. As I mentioned right before we kicked off, I used AWeber some time ago, and then I heard you on the podcast, and I'm like, this is such a cool product. And I know, because we run a marketing company, that overwhelming majority of attorneys do not do email marketing, which is a miss. It's such a cool tool that should be in their toolbox, and it should be generating more money for them. So I'll open it up to you. Talk to us. Tell us about AWeber. Tell us how other attorneys, because I know that you do have quite a few law firms using the tool. How do they use it? How do they make money off of it?
I'm the product marketing manager at AWeber, which is a tool for email marketing. Today, I'm really excited to talk about some basics, right? Like you said, a lot of lawyers aren't doing email marketing at all. Where do you get started? How do you start implementing email marketing when you are already so busy, right? What are some of the things that you can do that doesn't just add another task onto your plate? Because especially for lawyers in, smaller practices or even solos, they just don't have that time. And the thought of, one more thing to do can seem kind of overwhelming. So I am all about the automation. I'm all about getting things set up that you set it up once, but then don't have to keep doing it over and over. But my history is I started off my career working for a company called Legal Talk Network, which is a podcast network for lawyers. So I was doing marketing for the podcast network, and I was writing descriptions. So I have listened to, I cannot even tell you how many podcasts for lawyers, a lot of them about marketing and processes. So that's kind of, I have my roots in marketing for lawyers. And then at my last job, right before I came to AWeber, I worked for a company that did virtual receptionist services for lawyers. So Smith AI.
I just interviewed their marketing director like a week or two ago.
Yeah. So that's the company that I was at right before here. So, we obviously were obsessed with same thing, taking the work off of the plate for lawyers, helping them make more money, but also, not do as much work. And so now I'm working for AWeber, which is an email marketing tool. I love this tool for lawyers because there are a lot of other alternatives out there on the market, but they can tend to be too robust. There's a big sort of learning curve when you first get into them. And I think that what AWeber has is a lot of the core functionality that's easy to learn, easy to use, easy to get set up. It's more affordable than a lot of the other options. And we have one of the best known, best support teams, all in-house. Our support team knows way more than I even do about our product. They're just amazing. And so, that's sort of, what I like about AWeber for lawyers. Like you said, it's been around for years. AWeber started in 1998 as what was at the time called an autoresponder. Mm-hmm. But in the last maybe 4 or 5 years, we have done a lot of work to bring this product up to the current standard of what everybody else is, using and needing in the market. And we got a lot of cool new toys in there, which you'll have to go check out our YouTube channel or our blog to check out some of those. Because today we're going to talk about essentials, which I'm really excited about.
Absolutely.
Okay, so let me get started. You said, what we're covering today is 3 tips to make more money with email marketing.
Yeah, and the reason why I am so focused on that, there are so many podcasts for lawyers, just a ton, right? There are so many marketing companies that work for lawyers, just a ton. And whenever I listen to podcasts, very often what is missing is that practicality. Like, how do you practically make more money? Like, show me the path from point A, where I am today, to point B, where I want to be financially next year. Like, show me the path and make it as simple as possible for me to understand, so that I understand, like, okay, so if I do get AWeber, here's how I'm going to use it to make more money.
Absolutely. Okay, so one of the sort of things that people tend to not talk that much about when it comes to email marketing is the number one key for email marketing success is having people email addresses in your email marketing tool. Like, you don't You don't think about that often, but you really have to be adding people to your email marketing tool in order to email them, in order to make sales, in order to nurture them, all of these other things. And doing that manually just doesn't make sense. It's a total, don't even worry about doing that manually. Maybe if you already have a list, if you get AWeber, you can upload the list of people that you already have their email addresses into the product. But after that, I want you to automate everything. So my number one tip is to set up integrations with the tools that you already use to either intake new leads or intake new clients or capture leads. And so the first thing that you want to do, in my opinion, especially as a lawyer, is learn to use a tool like Zapier. Because Zapier, there are a lot of native integrations, and depending on which CRM you use, which virtual receptionist service you use, which website tool you use, there might be some native integrations. So look for those first, right? So you can connect your email marketing tool directly to the tool that you use to intake those things. But if you don't, Zapier does almost all of them.
Yep, I get it. So let me interrupt you for a second. Apologies for that. But first, help our audience understand how they can make money with email marketing. Because once we get into the weeds of technology, it's not quite as relevant until you understand how more money can be easily made with email marketing, which I think, based on hundreds of conversations with our attorney clients,
right,
most lawyers do not know how to do that and see it as a chore at best, right? Not an opportunity.
Okay. So once you have started collecting email addresses, the way to really make money as a law firm from email marketing is to nurture those leads. Now, nurturing leads means if for some practices, somebody will just call you and they need a lawyer right then, right? I absolutely need a DUI lawyer right now. Call up, and I'm going to hire probably the first person that I call. But for a lot of practices, that's not the case. People will call several practices and they will do their research and they will, try to decide that, what's the differentiator? Why should I hire this practice over that practice? Now, email marketing is something that you can do. It's something that you can set up where you literally automatically send emails to those people who contact you initially, to those new leads, and you nurture them, which means you tell them about your practice. What's your differentiator? Why should they hire you? What are the testimonials that other clients that you've had success with say? How can you educate them about the way that your practice works? And those things, those emails that you send out, as I'm sure you all have received these emails, those are actually the things that will tip the scales in your favor to that person hiring you over other practices, right? If somebody just calls you, you talk to them on the phone, you let them know maybe your prices or your process or whatever, and you don't touch base with them after that. Maybe you had planned to call them, maybe you had planned to send a manual email, but you lost track of time or you don't have the time to do those things. Email marketing is a process where you can set all of that up to go out automatically, right? So the reason that I started with the integration concept is you need to automatically have that person entered into your email marketing tool. But once they're there, you can actually have these emails go out and say, listen, we know you talked to us today. Here is how you go about hiring us. Here is the next step. Here in your inbox is all of the information that you might need in case you need to forward it on to somebody else who didn't have that conversation, right? Maybe there's multiple people who need to weigh in on this decision to hire your firm. You can have all of that information in their inbox, but it happens automatically, right? You set up these emails one time, and each time you get a new lead, you get to tip the scales to them hiring your firm first over other firms by sending out these emails that what in marketing we call nurture them.
Yep.
Now, one thing that's really cool about the legal practice right now is by just having these emails at all, you're actually a step ahead of a lot of other firms who really don't do this yet. It's something that's not huge in the legal practice yet. So it's a great differentiator for you.
100%. And let me put some finishing touches on what you just shared. I was at a conference for attorneys recently. There was a representative from a very successful law firm. And when we talked about intake, he said, we follow up with our prospects 13 different times, 3 different ways. One of them obviously was email, and some of that email follow-up was automated. Other was not automated. Well, let's call it semi-automated. The system sent whoever did the intake a reminder to follow up with the prospect, right? Not the intake, but the initial conversation, right? To follow up with the prospect. And then the prospect would also get a series of useful emails. From the marketer standpoint, when we're more general marketers, right? We build high-performance websites, and we are specialists in all things search. Here's what that looks like from our perspective. For lawyers, overwhelming majority of people who are going to come to your website, and this applies to all commercial websites, vast majority, 95%, 94%, 96% of all people who show up to your website are not going to contact you right there and then. Vast majority of people look for information, look for answers to their legal questions on your website and on the websites of your competitors before they pick up the phone and call you, or before they fill out a contact us form. If your website has a lead capture tool and then a follow-up sequence to email, you tip the scales, like Casey put it, right, in your favor. Here's what that looks like, because people are looking for information. One of the pieces of information, you can give them a guide or a checklist or some sort of a white paper that addresses their legal concern, their legal need, legal challenge, whatever it may be. They download that thing, and that puts them on a path of getting communications from your firm. How do you come up with topics? And I'm adding like little finishing touches there, because like I know how to do this, and we've done this for other clients, but not for all, because some are like very reluctant to do it. You think about frequently asked questions, the questions that your prospective clients and your existing clients ask you, and then you grab your phone and you record a whole bunch of short videos. Each video is an answer to one of those questions. And then we are going to, or AWeber or someone is going to set it up for you in AWeber or AWeber-like marketing email communication tool, a follow-up sequence. Each one of those emails will contain one video or one link to the video. So you or your marketing team, AWeber, will be delivering those automatic answers to frequently asked questions to those prospects to tip the scales in your favor. Based on our experience, the buying cycle of a prospect to a law firm, and that includes personal injury law firms, like unless they need to talk to someone right now, maybe with criminal defense, with some cases, they're going to hire the very first attorney they speak to, but in most other cases, that decision is not made on the spot. So following up without spending the time to follow up is incredibly valuable, because imagine this, put yourself into prospect shoes. You go to 12 different websites for law firms. Let's say you're looking for an estate planning attorney. My mom is in the process of doing that right now. She's making changes to her estate plan, didn't love the first attorney. She's looking for another one. She is going to surf 20 different websites. As she is surfing, she's looking for information, not a lawyer yet. If your website prominently has a content offer, like a checklist, a guide or something, right? And my mom downloads that thing and gives you her name and email address, and there it would say, like, you give us a permission to follow up with you, right? That will automatically put her in the sequence. And next, every couple of days, she will get an email with a video from you, Mr. or Mrs. Lawyer, telling her another useful bit of information related to estate planning. Do I have this right, Kelsey?
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, you said that that firm that does this really successfully follows up in multiple different ways.
Mhm.
When you're sending these emails with, say, the videos that are answering questions, right? You're giving this person who's probably in a difficult situation. Nobody's hiring a lawyer. Most people aren't hiring a lawyer when they're in a great situation. They're probably nervous and they have questions and they want to be, not just sold, but, entrusted with the information that they need. That then, after you send that email with that video that answers the question that they likely have, or that, alleviates some pain, when you make that call, when you follow up through the email to actually make the sale, that also tips, things in your favor. Just following up just to try to get somebody to hire you is not going to be nearly as successful as if you also send these automated emails that provide value to them, that, make somebody feel good.
It's really interesting that you brought it up. For most consumers, hiring lawyers is scary. On average, a consumer, I forget where I read this, but there was a study that determined that on average, a consumer hires attorneys 3 times in their entire lifetime. We know attorneys are expensive. We do not know how to choose the right one. By being a useful friend, a guide, right? By delivering little bits of content that is useful to them, you once again tip those scales in your favor. And AWeber is capable of delivering those emails.
Yeah. It's easy to, coming up with the plan of when to send them and the content to send them is the biggest part of this. Using the software to set up the process to send it out to them, using a tool like AWeber can be really easy. There's something that I really loved that you said that I want to impress upon your listeners on how they can make money with email as well, which is, once you've already answered those questions, right? You created those series of videos or, some resources for your clients, for your prospects. You can actually set up emails to go out automatically, once they've signed you on. Once they've actually hired you as a lawyer, I highly recommend that you create another series of emails that are similar or almost exactly the same to educate them. Because one of the biggest things that that lawyers waste time and energy on is uneducated clients. And this is a way that you can really, at least in a fairly significant way, start to educate your clients and set expectations so that you have fewer, things that take time that shouldn't have in the future in terms of following up with them, in terms of setting expectations for timing or what the process is going to be. And that's something that email marketing can save you a huge amount of time, which, as we all know, as lawyers, time is money.
100%. Plus, when you think about it, I put myself into any lawyer's shoes. If you practice in one practice area and you have 5, 6, 8, 10 new clients, you're repeating yourself 5, 6, 8, 10 times every single month, telling the same thing over and over and over again. Yet you know that you need to educate those clients, so you do it. Let's say each educational session takes half hour. You multiply that times 8 every month, times 12 months a year, 48 hours a year is spent on repeating yourself.
And that first time, you're going to look like this with a big smile on your face. But by the 10th time that month or the 46th time that year, you're not going to have the energy and enthusiasm that you did that first time. And the client's going to know it. But if you record it on video one time and send it to them, they'll always see you being your most positive and excited about this.
100%. By the way, a tip for that, do not spend the time actually creating it, producing the video. Just document yourself talking to your client, right? Then have a video production company. It's a big word, video production company. Get someone on Upwork for $30, $50, $100 to slice up those videos and just create a series of videos, they're educational videos. Nobody's going to sit and watch their 2-hour-long video, right? So just make it easy to consume, and then set it up in AWeber so there's an auto delivery to a new client. Every practice management software, or just about every practice management software I can think of today, integrates with email tools like AWeber, either through Zapier or directly. So whenever you toggle someone in your practice management software that they're now your client, it can trigger that sequence in AWeber. Am I correct?
Yes, absolutely. Yep. Going back to that integration.
Yeah. It's easy. Just needs to be done.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to address one thing that I've heard a lot of lawyers have concerns over, which is, this concept of, am I giving away what, information that I should be charging for. But there's so much in terms of even just what is your process? What are the forms that this person is going to need in order to move forward with you? What kind of time frame are you looking at? What is some of that information it's not legal advice. You're not giving this away for free. It's extra information that will, alleviate their pain without you having to, just tell them what to do. And every situation is different, but pay attention to the things that you're saying, like Sasha said, every single time. And those are the pieces of information you give them.
So I agree and kind of disagree with you on one point, and that is I am in favor of giving away the best information. Here's why. People who can afford to hire you will hire you because you know what you're talking about and not holding back. People who cannot afford to hire you, they shouldn't be dictating how you run your business. Right? If some of the people who are going to listen to you are going to be DIY people, do-it-yourself people, terrific. They weren't going to hire you in the first place. At best, they were going to go to LegalZoom and get things done for whatever it is that LegalZoom can done, but it's obviously very limited, right? For real clients, give away the best information. They will hire you because you come off as an expert. Anybody who holds back and doesn't share that right information, they're a little bit greedy with that information, and your competition will be sharing the best information. And because they do, they will have a greater probability of getting that new client, whereas you won't.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
my take.
I agree, and that's even, in all of the marketing that I've ever done for agencies or for technology companies or anything like that, you're giving away the information that, that people need, and that's okay. I made a video, for example, this might be going off the rails, but I made a video recently about how to embed an YouTube video in your emails. Now, you could sit down and individually embed YouTube videos in all of your Gmails and send them out. If you used AWeber to do it, it would be a lot faster and more automated. But, like Sasha said, for those people who want to DIY, who want to do it onesie twosie, that's the information that they need, and so that's something that across the board marketers do.
I got a question for you. Is there a way today, we're recording this toward the end of 2022, is there a way to actually embed the video where you open your Gmail, for example, it actually plays right there without clicking the link and going to YouTube, for example?
No, there's not a way to do that.
Not there
where
yet.
It plays without clicking.
I want email to get to that point where you can actually watch it without clicking the link and going to another platform.
Yeah,
It will get there at some point, I believe.
Yeah, I think it's down to, if I had to guess, which I don't know for sure, I think it's down to Gmail trying to decide, how many people are going to use this for good use and how many people are going to use this to potentially spam or drive up YouTube view numbers or something like that. But that's not for us to say. We just follow the rules.
Yeah, no, for sure. But I recently learned that LinkedIn now allows you to send video messages.
Yeah.
It makes sense. Everything is moving to video.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? So email is not going away forever, right? We're all going to communicate via email in any foreseeable future, right? So it's just with everything moving to video, I think it would only make sense for Gmail and everybody else to allow you to truly embed videos right there so you can play it there, but it's not there yet, which pisses me off. Because I love to create video. This is my natural way of communicating, right? Other than actually talking to people face to face, right? So I'm waiting for that moment when they're going to say yeah, you can now truly embed videos.
Well, we'll have to check back in a year, Sasha, and then maybe we'll be having a different conversation.
It may even happen sooner. I see video tools more and more often. Right now, you can set up a video chat on your website, whereas in the past, it's always type. Somebody types in response. Now I've seen Autobots with videos. You can send videos via chat. It's just everything is moving in that direction. So can't wait for email to also get there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool.
All right. I've got one more tip for people wanting to make money using email marketing. And I've got a stat for you. According to Clio, this year, I think the research they did this year, 59% of clients sought a referral from someone they know or have been in contact with, right? A lot of law firm clients and leads come through referrals. So when you capture a lead on your website, or even somebody that you've talked to at a conference, another lawyer, or somebody that you've worked with in the past, like a previous client, when you continue to email them going forward with, maybe interesting industry news or even just like tiny little fun tidbits, you stay top of mind for that person. And if that person has a friend or a colleague or someone in their network or even someone on their social media that has a call out, does anyone know of a PI lawyer? Or does anyone know of a really great family law lawyer? Something like that, you are going to be the person that that person thinks of as long as you continue to stay top of mind, right? If you continue to send emails out to people either monthly or quarterly or even just sometimes around Christmas, here's what's been going on with us. That's the kind of thing that makes that person continue to remember you and refer people to you when they run into somebody who is looking for your type of law.
Agree 100%. I would definitely recommend doing something like that once a month with your former clients. Most lawyers do not stay in touch with their former clients. So they just expect if I did a good job for them, they're going to refer me to someone when an opportunity arises. And
Yeah.
opportunities do arise infrequently. And because they arise infrequently, imagine that you worked for someone and now it's been 3-4 years. Maybe they'll remember your name. Maybe they will not. Maybe they will have your phone number stored in their phone. Maybe they won't. Maybe they will remember they will not remember your email address. But if you follow up with them, and there is a tip that I also want to share, do not make all your follow-up about law. It's going to be boring, right? But that's what lawyers like to talk about, right? Because this is like their thing. But
Yeah.
think about it this way. If you want to just like every month to send out something that has to do with law and legal developments and whatnot, think about it this way. Imagine that you go to like periodontist, right? It's a dentist. Imagine that they start sending you their monthly updates. They have to do with teeth. Would you open those emails? If they sent you a paper newsletter, would you open those newsletters? No.
Yeah.
You don't give a crap about that stuff, right? But if they send you like personal updates, right? You develop a good relationship with them because you worked on a case for that client for some time. Right now, they just send you updates, and they could be fun. They could be video because video
Yeah.
rules. And
Yeah.
I'm a marketer who is focused on SEO, and I'm still like video rules. Create more video, right? Be more human. Talk about things other than law. They will remember you when there is an opportunity to refer you to someone else.
And
So-
one of the best pieces of content that works for that sort of everybody likes is your pets.
Mm.
Even when Elizabeth Warren was running for president, she would send out emails with her pets, with her dogs, right? This is not something, it's something that everybody likes to receive. If you have different pets in the office, and not like a monthly pet update necessarily, but it's one of those things that shows that you can be relatable, your emails can be fun. People always love that content, and it's the kind of thing where you can stay top of mind. You can be known as somebody that's personable. I mean, you do marketing, Sasha, so you would know this as well. In like how video is becoming basically everything in marketing these days, so is being a person. People do not want to be sold to by companies anymore. They want to be sold to by people, or they don't want to be sold to at all, but they want to make a connection with a person. So if you act like a person in your emails, if you talk like a person, if you create videos like a person, here's what's up. Here's our new office plant, here's what's going on in the maybe if you're in a certain practice area, like here's what's going on in Florida. Here's what we're paying attention to. That's the kind of stuff that can cause people to continue to open your emails. That's one of the biggest keys.
100%. I love this tip, and especially and this is just so important to understand. So law firms that actively attract clients invest 15 to 25% of their future revenue into client attraction, aka marketing and advertising. Imagine that your typical lifetime value of a client, let's say you do estate planning, it's about $4,000 or $5,000. Let's call it $5,000. Let's say that you spend 20% of that $5,000 on client acquisition, attraction and acquisition. So you just spend $1,000 attracting and converting this prospect into a paying client. Now you did an estate plan for them, and off they go to never hear from you again. And you hope that at some point they'll refer you to someone else, right? Here's what we know about people. Birds of feather flock together, right? So my mom is 78. She knows other 78-year-olds. Someone in her circle may also need an estate plan, or she has an estate plan. She needs it updated, right? One of her friends may need that. If you stay in touch with her, and by the way, this is 2022, my 78-year-old mom lives in Gmail. So it's a very viable way of communicating with people of all ages. So you communicate with them, you send them those like very human updates, not like, here's a development from the Capitol Hill that has to do with like retirement planning. No, don't do that. Right? Like, hey, it's your favorite estate planning lawyer, John. Just wants to say hello, happy Halloween, and here's some whatever. Right? I'm saying happy Halloween because today is November 1st, and I just had like a whole bunch of people, a whole bunch of kids like running up and down the street yesterday. So it came up.
Now, there's a couple of things I really like about what you said. The first being, when's the last time you met somebody who doesn't have an email address? I mean, every single person has an email and checks it almost every day of their entire life. So it's just a great way to connect with people. But the other thing I loved that you kind of circled around is dollar for dollar. Email marketing is so much cheaper. Like, think about it's cheaper than any ad campaign. You could pay for an entire year of email marketing software and, somebody to compose your emails for you and maybe just record a video of you and get all that added into for one Gmail campaign.
Yep.
It's so much more affordable. And so it just needs to be a part of your arsenal. Obviously, a lot of this is remarketing, right? Continuing to talk to the same people and, hoping to bring in new leads that way. So it can't be your only marketing source, but it should be a part of your arsenal because it's so much more affordable than, a lot of those other options.
100%. The only thing that I would slightly disagree with, it's not hoping that they will connect you with someone else. They will connect you with someone else at some point. So if you've been practicing law for, let's say, 5, 7, 8, 10 years, you probably have hundreds, you probably have thousands of emails from your former clients, current clients, and prospects who, for whatever reason, decided not to hire you at the time. By the way, just because somebody decided not to hire you 5 years ago doesn't mean that they will not hire you a year from now.
Mm-hmm.
By staying top of mind, by creating that awareness. And once again, it takes so little effort to create those videos. Once again, I keep going to videos because like actually typing up emails and creating engaging email content, like written content, is a lot harder than just shooting a video, right? And embedding that link to YouTube. Yes, damn it, they will click on that link and will go to YouTube. But it's still you in those videos. So you do that. And you may say like, oh, but I have, let's say I'm a principal and I have like 4 associates working with me, maybe a partner and 3, 4, 5 associates. How do I do that? I'm like, you give them ideas and you tell them to shoot a 20, 30, 40, 50, 60-second video just talking about life. It's easy. Here I am walking the dog. It's 5 o'clock in the morning and it's cold because I'm in Chicago. It's November, right? Just wants to say hello to everybody. Have a blessed day, whatever, right? Or any kind of update. So easy to do. But I love this quote from Jim Rohn. What's easy to do is even easier not to do.
Yeah.
And that's why people who take massive action, including email marketing, end up making so much more money.
Yeah.
Because they do the things that are easy, but are also even easier not to do.
Yeah.
Email marketing. Kelsey, how do our listeners get in touch with you, get in touch with the platform, try it out?
You can get in touch with me on Twitter. I usually send people there at Kelsey, Colorado. If you have any questions about, this conversation that we had, or you're looking for ideas, I'm happy to give you some ideas on Twitter. If you want technical help, then definitely go to our support team because they're a lot better with that. But just head to AWeber.com, AWeber.com, and you can get set up for free. Our software is free, basically up to about 500 subscribers.
Oh, wow.
So if you're
Okay.
just getting started, go in there, create a campaign, do that, thing where you set up the checklist on your website and just see if you can start bringing people and start to implement some of these small things that you can set up once and that continue to go out on an automated basis, and then scale it out from there.
Fascinating. What really fascinating is that you didn't give away your email address. Like, go to Twitter. Come on, Kelsey. All we talked about was email. How do people get in touch with you via email?
Okay. Well, my email address is kelseyj@aweber.com.
There you go. I doubt anybody is going to email you because you make it so easy to sign up for the free trial with up to 500 person list. So I think people should just go there. And are there any training videos, like how to set things up on, for example, YouTube?
Yeah, there's tons of training videos on YouTube, youtube.com/AWeber, getting things set up, ideas for, processes to set up. Some of our cool new features that we've built are on there as well too. So if you want to do something like automatically send out YouTube videos when you publish them, or automatically send out blog posts when you publish them to your email list, that's something that you can do in our tool as well. And it's really easy to implement. So check out some of that stuff.
Amazing. Kelsey, it was such a pleasure. Thank you so much for being here with us.
Thanks for having me on.